of volume okay or no, or what's up?
Yep, you sound fine, though we will have to ask chat how they sound on your end, because in my headphones you
Of
sound fine, but I have no idea.
volume okay or
I don't know. The brief part I saw on YouTube sounded fine. How you doing? How you doing? You
I'll see.
doing good? You are... We did start the stream, by the way. You are the dreaded Randomnix. Anything you want to say about yourself?
Hey, that's me. I'm just like a medical cringe player, and yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Alright. In case you haven't seen this interview series before, since there's a lot of new people to the channel around recently, we did it a lot in Warhammer 2 for various factions, and in Warhammer 3, while we let people figure out the factions before I can do interviews with them, we thought we would just talk to someone about the game in general, but also Domination mode, and we have none other than Randomnix with us. It's in the description, but he did win Turin's most recent faction war. He was Master Tier on Ent Ladder for land battles in Warhammer 2 and 3, and he was at the top of the leaderboard for quite a while in Domination mode. So he has done it all, and it feels like a well-rounded person to speak to about Game 3. Cool? Cool.
Wow, thank you for that introduction. Now I feel really good, man.
It's because you are really good. We'll start off with some personal questions. By personal, I just mean about you specifically. FNG asks,
Okay.
how did you pick your name?
The classic. No, I was just a kid, a teenager, I didn't really think about it, come on. I'm just like thankful it's not like XX Killer 42069 XX.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I couldn't really like explain. I just like I picked it, and yeah, I'm thankful it's not like something really weird or awful going forward. It's just like random letters, and yeah.
Fair enough. If you had a patron of one of the dark gods, the chaos gods, who would it be? From Bobman.
Thank you for that amazing question. I don't know, like from what I know, all the chaos gods are pretty spooky, and they like want you to be deprived. So I just wanna be Corn Boy, just die on the battlefield and have it over it.
That's a good choice.
Like, I know that a lot of people will pick Slanesh because Booba, but yeah, I think that's a trap. You don't want to go that route.
It's a trap. You could go with... I feel like Tzeentch is the hardest to get behind because he just constantly fucks with you. Even if you're on his side, he constantly just makes your life annoying. There's not a lot to it.
But I'm not really like into Lord, but I've read that because Tzeentch followers they also like often fuck with Tzeentch himself, so he doesn't like many of them.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. All right, let's get into the topic that everybody loves talking about: domination. I'm asking this question, so this one's from me, but I really didn't enjoy domination too much. I don't hate it; it's not my favorite, which is one of the reasons I don't talk about it a whole lot. But you seem to like it. You've played a good amount. What's good about it? What would be your elevator pitch of here's why you should like domination?
I mean, I think it's fine as a concept. Like generally right now, the game overall is kinda in a poor state. Like so, the game is bad. So like judging the game is harder because of that. But I think it like solves the issue that like land battles have this like kinda maybe not enigmatic, but like this rule set where never could like focus on playing like to your utmost ability, but you had like some rules that you cannot corner the camp, you cannot spell kite, you cannot do das. Oh sir, you've been in the forest for 15 seconds, that's a rule break, you cannot use them defensively. And domination like doesn't have those issues, so it like really does solve the thingy where you can just like play however you want, and if like you just like aim to win. And that's like I think the big thing like regarding tournaments and all that, because in the past, yeah, we even like during the World like Championship and all that, we had like a lot of dramas and cases where like some judgments or a ruling or whatever were controversial, and Domination does solve that aspect.
That's fair. Do you like the
So
current?
yeah, like also like going back to like your first question. So yeah, I think I do like it. I think it has a lot of potential, but right now the game is bad, so I kinda also don't like Domination because of that.
Are there any one or two old multiplayer maps you would like to see as Domination maps? That's from Stormrunner. Any of your favorites from Warhammer 2?
I would probably like just have to like play a bit more, but I think like just some classic like more open maps like Oakenhammer, like Galbaras or whatever, like those just open maps that have no terrain, no trees, no rocks, no whatever, and could be nice to play in Domination. Because right now it's like a choke fest galore. Like you cannot spread out 3 units next to each other without them like being in full width. So yeah, I think just like more open maps. Like it doesn't matter which map, but just like more open maps would be really nice.
I like a lot of the terrain on the current maps. I just wish not every map was so small and terrain filled.
Well, I think it could be that like some points, like some sides of the map are terrain heavy, but there are also like the more open like parts of the map. Like so, let's say for example the middle is really open, but like the side can be terrain heavy and forest heavy. And so right now like pretty much every part of the map is kinda like heavy on like the non-interactive elements, let's say.
When you're playing Domination, do you tend to be more dominant and like take over the map, or do you usually play more passively? That's from the Mortal to Musa Pita.
Well, I think like usually my strategy is that at the beginning you want to just like trade up, get value, and then like try to capture the points, especially because there is still like this comeback advantage. So like your opponent will get like the first 2000 points or so, but you will then manage to like come back. It won't matter, and it can even be helpful to you because you will get like more reinforcement points, so you can summon more units and like just get the advantage that way. So I think like what I would advise is at the start like just put your whole army in the middle and try to trade up against your opponent, and then just send the reinforcements to the side objectives and try to capture them.
Is Cathay good on the only one true open map, which Wei says is the Eye of Chaos or something?
I'm not sure if I would even say that this map is that open, because it has like that little valley in the middle that can make like cannon play kind of hard. Overall, most maps, like all of the Domination maps for Cathay, can be kinda awful. And if I were to say that one map is the best, I would say like it's the Death Pass one. It's like the one where the middle is really open, and the cannons can really like have this kill zone in the middle and like on your side objective at your spawn. So if I were to say that one map is the best for Cathay, it would be Death Pass. Because like Eye in the north has this little valley, those little rocks that if you just hide your units behind them, like the cannons won't be able to reach them.
I see.
Also like going back to Cathay, I think we'll touch on that topic, but like, yeah, kind of domination is really bad for Katai. And like in land battles, currently in the meta, I would say they are one of the best factions. Maybe not the top faction, but one of the best. But in domination, they are just like straight up awful.
Dang. I mean, good to know, I guess, but dang. Cathay's my favorite faction, so hearing that they're pretty bad makes me sad, but I'm not exactly shocked. Yeah. Oh, poor Cathay. Rest in peace.
Indeed.
What do you think a good money split is from Hank Cyrus? Like, money split between reinforcements and main army? Because right now it's like main army is half-ish the funds.
It's like main army is like 7,200 and the reinforcement one is 10,800.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people like want it to be switched around, so maybe like your beginning army is this time like 10,800 or like it's a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Like in the concept I'm okay with it, but if we get more open maps, because like I said at the beginning that currently even like with the smaller beginner armies, it can be like hard to not like have just like choke pointy battles where you cannot really like set up any like lines of defensive or like gun lines or anything. It's just like all in like one small choke point. So if we just increase the funds of the stepping armies, it will just like get much worse in that regard.
That's an interesting take. I actually hadn't heard a lot of people saying that. More starting funds might just get more.
What can I say?
The main army.
My opinions do be interesting.
Yes. Zero saying the main army should be bigger than the second army. I agree conceptually, but I think more open maps would probably help with that. To not bottleneck things too much. I also wish the control points unlocked a little bit sooner, because like 3 minutes is a long time to wander around the map, in my opinion.
I don't know, I think like the 3 minutes can be okay. Especially for those slower factions like Nurgle, that have like just those
Nobody likes that.
poor 23 speed. Yeah, like just those flake bearers that yeah, rather bad because of the speed, and if the cap points like timer would be reduced, they would be even worse, so yeah.
Bobman asks, are quick battles pog or cringe?
Bobman himself is kinda cringe, so I think it depends on who is playing in those battles.
Fair.
Like, quick battles I think can be like a good like way to get quick games in if you just like wanna relax or just have something to play, but currently there is no really like any solid ranking system that or anything in that matter that really like makes the quick battle experience like worth it experience-wise. Currently, I think there are a lot of people that are like, wow, I have a 90%, I have 80% win rate on ladder, I'm so good at this game. And then they like play one game on a tournament or on end ladder and wow, man, I kinda suck in this game, like what happened? I was winning so much on the ladder. And yeah, that kinda is because the ladder sucks, there is no matchmaking, so you cannot really even like judge your skill level. So quick battle is just like this fun tool to get a game against random people who probably don't like. Just today I played a quick battle. I just like wanted to get back to Warhammer 3 and see how it feels. And the guy I was playing against didn't know that he could like summon the reinforcements. So yeah.
Damn. I ask the question, do you think Domination mode needs any rules for tournaments, or do you think it's fine how it is?
I think if there is any need of rules, it's only like the simple ones regarding that, oh, this spell is banned, this unit has this limit,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with those rules because they are easy to enforce, like there's no any gray areas or lines where you can take half of a Mortis unit or like 2.5 Gorgets. So yeah, like I said, the Domination solves the need of rules that can be played around.
I see. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good take. I wrote that question before I had played too much in a while, and then the more I play Domination, the more it seems like, things are kind of fine. Cryosfree asks, do you think Domination would be better with a single good map? We've kind of talked about that a lot, so I'll kind of brush past it, but I did want to just acknowledge the question was asked. Cuden asks, is Domination only fun in 2v2? Which I would agree, I do think it's pretty fun in 2v2.
I'm not sure I would agree with that, because when we talked about the starting and reinforcing army split, I did mention that when you do increase the number of units or funds, the battles can get kinda grindy. So I think the 2v2 could just exemplify that issue, and because 2 times more units, and then it turns to a total chaos and just blob fest, grind fest, and all that nice stuff that it's really strategic and fun to play around.
Yeah.
So I could imagine that there is some fun ways of almost in MOBAs that you can strategize and play around, and I have this faction and I'm gonna support you with those spells because you are Khorne and you don't have spells, so I can heal you at Bloodfester, and I have fast cavalry, so I can flank the units and you are at the front line, and I guess those aspects could be cool, but the maps just don't allow for that to happen, and it's no fun.
I see. Is Domination with full starting funds and no reinforcements a good way to replace land battles? That is from Cyrus.
I think the answer is straight no. Because when you compare to how many troops you can take in Domination to land battles, in Domination generally over the span of the game you will employ the field a lot more troops and funds than you would in land battles. And that also matters in regards to capping, because there is this fund difference in the Domination that would be played land battle. You could just do all the old cancel strategies corner camping, spell kiting, lot sniping,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't really be punished for it because the taking the captured points and winning the game by them takes so long that you could do all of those strategies and then still have enough time to retake the captured points when you killed the most important units or did whatever. And because you cannot summon any reinforcements, in a way just killing the enemy army is important, because if you do kill those units, they have no way to contest those points later in the game. So I feel that if we allow the Domination mode to be played like land battles, it would just turn to people abusing the no fun strategies.
Yeah.
And then they would be justified because hey, that's a cap point, and if you want to win you can just cap the points. But capping the points would not be a viable way to win the games.
Bobman asks, when will 4v4 domination be a thing? When everybody's internet is completely perfect. But for now, that sounds like just a lag fest, so pass. That sounds terrible.
We can do it. Maybe so you can introduce a turn-based system. Who knows?
Yeah. What is the best unit in the entire game for capturing points? Real human being.
That's an interesting question.
We try to be interesting here.
Like you can either go. I see. I see. I think you can go like two ways about it. So first would be Gnoblades. They are the cheapest. They are infantry, so they can capture the points really quickly. I think another one you could go would be Godgers. They have vanguards, so you can deploy them like closer to the front line. They are also like stalked and unspottable, so your opponent won't even know that you are going for those cap points.
Ooh, yeah, Gorge
And if they're just like, yeah, who could have expected that? Yeah, that's a controversial opinion, I know, but I have to like say the harsh truth. I think like one another unit that could be kind of good would be like Chaos Counts. They cost just 400, but they are infantry sized. They have infantry weight, and they are super fast, so you can like just send them to capture the point. If they would be like threatened, you can just move them out, and since they are infantry sized, they will capture the point really quickly. So that could like have a strategy.
Responding to chat quickly. So, some guy that I'm gonna butcher his name, but his GRs it looks like, enters the chat. Just, who are you? What is this? I mean, I don't know how to answer that.
I ask this question to myself. I ask this question to myself every day. What are we doing in this place? Who am I?
Bobman just enters and says, damn you, Randomnix. Zero's pointing out the reinforcement tab should not cover your army. And BF Flyer, that question was already asked. The opinion on Domination is... it's different. Sometimes more fun than land battles, sometimes not. State of the game right now isn't very good, so it's hard to tell. But it needs better maps. Alright. A contentious point from the community. Amove Hacker asks, what is your stance on the comeback mechanic? Is it a necessary evil?
Generally, I've been in favor of it not existing.
Yeah.
I think like it's the only thing about domination that is kinda like can create weird scenarios rule-wise. I remember that I had a game with Anti-City where it was like at the very beginning of the meta in the game, so I especially didn't have a like good grasp of it yet, but pretty much like nobody of us wanted to capture the point, because then the opponent would get more funds and more units. So we just like stood there in place for 11 minutes and we just didn't move. We just only summoned units, and like we only started to playing. I guess we only started playing the game when we summoned our whole armies, and there was no point in like not capturing the points anymore, because like even if you got more points, you had your whole army on the field, so it didn't matter. So yeah, I think like the comeback mechanic can create this weird scenario where.
Why does that sound like the most Randomnix and Anticity game I've ever heard of? Is both of you just sitting there waiting to get your full army and then deciding to play the game? It just sounds
basically like
sounds so much like Anticity.
yeah, like we both I guess wanted to play around the comeback mechanic. So yeah, I think like it's not as a big deal as I thought it was in the beginning, but I still think it shouldn't be a something that exists, so we should get rid of it.
I'm going to roll through 3 questions really quickly that we've already answered, but I just want to acknowledge they've been asked, so you don't have to answer these. Real Human being asked, is it more important to hunt and destroy the enemy or secure points? Randomnix did answer a question much like that. Way, nope, not Way. Yes, Way is a different question. What are the general strategies for domination? 2-cap weight or 2 and 3-cap side cap focus, etc. Again, we went through that. And Real Human Being asked, is domination well made? 1 or 3 improvements you would make. Randomnix talked about that a lot, mostly around map design. Okay.
Yeah, come on. Why are the guys asking the same questions? Come on.
I tried to sort through them, but I didn't realize that you would answer. You answered in a conversation, not a yes or a no, so you kind of answered multiple at the same time because they're close. So you're doing great.
I see.
Let's shift to Warhammer 2 stuff with domination, because that's a big topic. A lot of people like talking about. Oh, when Empire gets here, they're going to be so good, or oh, when this gets here, it's going to be so good. So, let's narrow the question down. What single Warhammer 2 faction do you think will be the best in domination, and which Warhammer 2 faction do you think will be the worst at domination? This is from Way and Bobman.
Obviously, answering this question is gonna make me look bad, a couple months in the future when those factions release. Before I answer, because very often when I look back at the meta predictions that even good players make, they are so funny when you look back at them, and they say oh, Sisters of Twilight, they are gonna be such a bad unit. Why take Sisters when Eagle Lord exists?
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I said Slaanesh was going to be.
Prediction.
I said Slaanesh was going to be a way too good, so
Yeah.
You can't be any worse than me.
Yeah, basically making predictions without seeing how they play is bound to be incorrect, but I can do my best.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one part of this question is really easy. So the worst faction, I think it's gonna be Coast. I just cannot imagine Coast working Domination. It's like Katai, but what?
The next question was going to be. The next question was going to be Vampire Coast and Domination, top or flop from Neckbet, and you just fucking throw it at the bottom.
Yeah, you see, I'm answering 5 questions in one, so
Yeah.
it's
Anyway, sorry for
yeah,
that.
Vampire Coast. I just cannot imagine them working because that playstyle is very passive, very defensive. The units not only are they currently bad, but they are really slow. So unless there is some type of monster rush with sirens, crabs that can work, I cannot see Vampire Coast being kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to best faction, I guess we could try to look at the best factions in Total War Warhammer 2 and just pick one of them. So I think we have factions like Wood Elves, Lizardmen, Beastmen. All of them were really strong in Warhammer 2, so no reason why they wouldn't be also really strong in Warhammer 3. If I were to pick just one faction, I think I would go with Lizardmen.
See,
they have
I was going to say Wood Elves all the way.
Yeah, they have I can imagine Wood Elves, but I could also imagine Wood Elves. We'll have to see how it plays. I think it will also depend on the matchups as always.
Oh, it'll always depend on the matchups, but in general, it's Wood Elves have speed,
Yeah.
they have good cavalry, and they have good lord sniping, which in domination can be really brutal because getting your lord back is so expensive. In most cases.
Oh yeah, I think in domination lord sniping isn't really an issue because you can just not take the lord, or you can take another unit as a lord. So
Yeah, but what if you don't have a
I think
mage?
in domination.
They get
What do you mean,
arrows
don't have a mage?
arrows of Kurnost, and then the Waystalkers just go home, get resummoned, get more arrows of Kurnost, and come back better than ever.
I mean, maybe, but it sounds kind of I'm sure it can work, but I think domination is better for the Lord sniping in a way that is like easier to protect your army from getting the Lord recently killed penalty than in land battles where you cannot like disarm your Lord, you cannot
Yeah.
make your Lord a different unit, so
That's fair.
I don't think it's gonna be such a problem.
Neckbet and Stormrunner ask, how would it improve your domination? Oh, how would it improve domination, in your opinion, if you couldn't resummon completely destroyed units? That's from Neckbet and Stormrunner. So, like, if you succeed in fully killing something, it can't be resummoned, giving you an incentive to, like, chase stuff off the map. Obviously, that gets a little complicated with demons and undead when they'll just crumble, but, like, let's ignore that for a second and just talk about it as, like, a generic concept.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because I think time to throw some shade. I think that's like a kind of a stupid idea. That if you like think about it for 30 seconds, like you just did, like what in regards to undead and demons, do those never come back? If they never come back, does it mean that in domination, like your army can run out of units because you had demons and now you cannot summon them? Like, as an idea, it sounds good in theory, but like if you just think about it for like 1 or 2 minutes, you like see immediately so many problems that would have to be balanced around or like somehow solved. So I think, like unless you show me how those problems would be solved, I think that's a really bad idea.
Can somebody, like, in the stream, can somebody tell me what the fuck my Demon Prince's picture is? What the fuck? What is that? Why does it look so fucked up? What?
Oh wait, I see it.
It's just like an arc of light with like a claw in the middle. I don't know, it's not his face. What the hell? What the hell is that?
He's just vibing.
Sorry. I got distracted by that mildly. There was a question in the chat. Do you see any point in the Nurgle rot flies? I personally don't, but I'm curious if you have any use for them. Nurgle Air Forces for me have just felt really expensive and underperform every time.
Yeah, you pretty much just said it. I will say I don't really play that much Nurgle, so I'm kind of like just going off my limited experience, but rot flies kind of seem bad for what you pay for. Like only 10 models, so they don't do that much damage. That starts rather low. Poison doesn't matter because everything on Nurgle does those poison, so I don't know, just like I could see them being good sometimes, but for the most part they are a bad unit.
Okay, almost done with the domination questions. How much does the supporting hero tax... How much does the supporting hero spell tax the economy? Real human beings. That means that there's a bug right now where if you take a hero that isn't in your starting force, it costs double for their spells. For some reason.
Oh yeah. Could you repeat the question, by the way? Because...
How bad is it that you have to pay double for heroes to take spells?
How bad? Honestly, I think obviously it's a bug and should be fixed, but I generally don't. I try not to take mages in my like secondary army because you probably want to start the magic as like using the magic pool as soon as you can. So
Yeah.
it's probably better to like take the mage in your starting army. And if like your lord is killed and you need to summon them, you probably lost the game already, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's a bug and should be fixed. So like one little thing is that if you don't like have the characters spamming as Tzeentch, that's why you shouldn't take any spells on the characters because like wants to just use the power stone, throw down the summoned, desummon them, and since the spells will cost you double, and you probably won't cast that many of them, it's better to like not take any spells.
Chat's asking a question from Tranquilla Ward. Do you think implementing more open maps but all the points are right next to each other would be a good or a bad idea? Not for every map that exists, but like, do you think that'd be a fun map of like an oak and hammer, but then the center has 3 points and the flanks have nothing?
It depends on, I think, like how close the cap points you mean. Like, what does it mean right next to each other? Because at this point, why not just have a like 1 point? Kind of like a big picture.
Fair. Anticity was doing something similar with one of his tournaments recently.
Because I'm also reading chat, so like Tranquilo said that kind of like a big captured strip with 3 zones. I guess like, I would like be okay with seeing how this idea evolves. I would have to see how it plays, but it doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
Like from the description.
Moving on to more general questions. Assuming balance changes happen, etc., yada yada, which Game 3 faction do you think will fare the best in any game mode when the Game 2 factions are added? Which one do you think will have, the most staying power? Whereas, for example, probably not Nurgle, because more and more factions will have basic archers and he'll be fucked.
Okay, so I think like the simplest answer would be Ogres, but I think that they will be really nerfed, and like when the Iron Blasters are cut down, when Godjets aren't really OP, like Ogres will have a rather like simple and non-armored like whole army that will be easy to deal with. So I think like when the Game 2 factions release, Ogres won't be really good. But I think that I could see Kislev having a lot of potential. Like their hybrid style is kinda unique, so if the units themselves prove to be like cost efficient, that hybrid playstyle like could lead to good matchups in a way. Like for example, if you compared like Kislev Cossards to like high elf archers, they cost the same, but like obviously high elf archers have a like longer range, but the Cossards have much better melee stats, and it kinda goes for the whole roster that the hybrid units have this thing where they are a little bit worse like in the range really good, but like they kinda don't, in a way they don't pay enough like gold for the hybrid functionality, at least in theory, that if they are able to both use the range power and the melee power, they will be like really efficient. And especially like as DLCs come and all that, like we'll have like new cool overpowered units. I think Kislev could be a real powerhouse.
Okay, alright. I'm not getting distracted by the bugs in this game at all. Definitely not, because Bobman was somehow, according to the UI, Bobman was taking the center point while shooting me with no units in it. It was like, yeah, his cannonballs are worth more than your unit. And now he's capturing it from himself. Yeah, no, it's a visual bug, but it is very funny to see. Fucking...
Like for example, when like your opponent starts capturing the point, but then you like push them out, then you will be capturing the point, but the UI will show that it's like stealing the color of your like opponent. But when you like will reach the, when you will capture the point, it will like turn to your color.
Zero's asking you, what do you think about needing an advantage to gain points? You need 2 out of the 3 points to get anything, instead of every point constantly gives victory. points.
I think currently that would be really bad with the comeback mechanic existing, because it would like give even more incentive to like not bother with capturing the points at all and just like trying to trade up army, because then you can just like take 2 cap points and your opponent with just 1 cap point cannot do anything.
Yeah.
So if we get rid of comeback mechanic, I could see it maybe being a good idea, but currently it would like make domination worse than it is.
For Warhammer 3, Kiara asks, where are our ratties? And by which she means the Skaven. Where are the Skaven? Why don't we have Skaven?
You know, I don't think that Skaven exists. I think it's like heresy talk.
Your heresy talk. Kiara also mentioned something that you are unfortunately famous for. Why is Kislev so annoying? Why is Kislev so annoying, Randomnix?
What can I say? The easiest answer is word sleds. They are really balanced right now. See the great job applying the stats and cost to them, so yeah, word sleds are really good.
Yeah, and having heroes with constant AoE healing is probably not a great idea. Probably.
Why not?
It might incentivize something called blobbing, just maybe a little bit.
No way. Blobbing? What? Come on. I don't think blobbing exists. There are no choke points on the map. On land battles, there's no incentive to blob. I disagree.
Yeah. All right.
I would never blob.
Kiara asks a positive question. Has anyone ever mentioned how good the Ogre's giant design looks like? The giant looks pretty. I can agree with that.
I have to like give credit to see that like every giant for every faction. Well, they do have like the same stats and they are really bad, but like the designs for each of them are like unique and special. So
yeah,
I think somebody that is doing a good job like differentiating them, and it's not the same model in every faction.
Yeah, a lot of the models in this game actually look pretty good. Pretty good. Bobman asks, do you prefer domination or land battles? If you sit down to play just one for an hour, which one do you pick?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I totally don't know. Both have their advantages. Like I said at the beginning, game is really shit right now, so judging the quality of game modes is kind of hard to me. So I totally like don't know.
All right, that is fair. Hammond asks a very apt question: is Warhammer 3 worth it right now? Would you go back in time and buy it again? Or would you just keep playing Elden
for
Ring?
sure, like the answer is yeah, just buy Elden Ring. It's a much better game than Warhammer. Yeah, by the way, really, if anybody here is listening and they're like, wow, Warhammer 3 was such a shit show, Elden Ring is quite a good game. I already have more hours in Elden Ring than Warhammer 3. And so yeah, do buy Elden Ring. I do expect the game to be fixed. It would be weird if like CA just abandoned Warhammer 3 because it's the golden goose. Like I don't think any other community buys so many DLCs like the Warhammer 1 does. So the game will be good in the future. I would expect it to be. But right now, yeah, like maybe just spend your money on something else or buy Elden Ring.
Elden Ring is a good choice. How does it feel to be chatless, adoring fan, having no in-game chat?
Yeah, I really miss those people, complaining in the chat about all kinds of things. Yeah, I always like chat, like all chat functionality in games. I remember when I was like playing Counter-Strike, and one of the best parts of the game wasn't really like shooting other people in the head, but it was like hearing the lobby scream matches where in like halftime like people would scream at it, especially because I'm from Europe, so we'd have like Russian screamings and Germans and like speaking the like native languages, and it would like those 30 seconds or like 1 minute between the halves like was the essence of Counter-Strike, and was like just like so fun to like see that. Yeah, I really like put me a lot of like the interactive elements like chat, like voice and all that are worth it in multiplayer games.
Mm.
But maybe the chat DLC will come soon enough with Blood DLC, who knows.
Maybe. I wonder if they, like, I doubt they would, but I wonder if they would go the route of EA and just like, nope, you have to buy a chat.
I mean, that would be like I just cannot even like I cannot even like imagine like the because Blood DLC like has this argument that we want to keep the game like PG like 16 or whatever, but the chat DLC it just I cannot imagine a scenario where that would be a good like decision in like the dev head that our players will pay for the chat function.
Bob Man, who just
Okay,
defeated
who knows?
me. Sorry, what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bob Man, who just defeated me in a very fair, very serious game, asks, what is the hardest Warhammer 3 faction to play, and what is the easiest?
Okay, so probably like we have to decouple the like easiness of play from or the skill required to play the faction from them being good.
Mm-hmm.
So probably the hardest. Generally, a lot of people like pick Slanesh because fast units, so a lot of micro, a lot of cav, and I think I would like for the most part agree with that. That in theory, Slanesh due to like just speed of the roster and how you do have to like maintain a lot of fast mobile units. Those require more skill level. So that would be my pick for the hardest. But the easiest, I think I would either go with Nurgle or Khorne. Like Nurgle is generally most of the roster is rather slow, so that like aren't really that many mistakes that you can make when like playing them. Like the faction itself sucks, so you won't be able to like even though the faction is easy, you won't be able to win with them because they suck. But they are easy to play. And Khorne also like because they have like a fully melee roster for the most part, no magic, just big dump monsters, and armored infantry is also easy to play. And they, on the other hand, are actually good in domination, so yeah.
Spam dogs. Just spam dogs. Since you're talking about Khorne,
Kinda.
Cressy asks, thoughts on the Khorne roster and what counters it?
I will begin with saying that Khorne is a fun faction
I agree.
in a way that. Let me finish because in Domination, Khorne is really good, but in land battles, I think Khorne might be the worst faction in the game. But I
Whoa!
think truly, in land battles, I think that Khorne might have a bad matchup into every other faction in the game.
Wow.
And why is that? Because Khorne has no way to really like deal efficiently with blobs. So in
Oh.
Domination they work because your opponent will be like forced to split their units like to all the captured points, and they cannot just like make a like smaller squad like with the only elite units like a mortis engine, just monsters and like sitting in one spot. So in Domination, Khorne can use the like flash hands, use the high strength power armored infantry to that benefit that like capture the points, take hold of them. If the Pendulum is banned as it is in tourney play, like the Tzeentch or Slanesh like cannot press one button to delete all the infantry, so like Khorne is really good in Domination with those like the rules banning Pendulum, because all the units are very efficient for what they do. But Khorne doesn't really have like a lot. I think Khorne might be the faction with least tools in the game. So like they cannot deal in any way with blobs. They just like have no way to deal with them. No way at all. Like the only like real range unit is Skull Cannon that is really bad.
Yeah.
So in Domination, because it's more about just like getting value and getting good trades, Khorne is really good. But in land battles, where you can like just cheese with units that Khorne cannot counter, they just like cry and fall over and just lose the game.
I see. I guess that is true. I haven't really had a whole lot of matchups that it feels like I can't win against Khorne. Cathay would feel hard if I didn't have Sky Junks and Long Marauders to just air cheese, because Khorne can't really deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Like, how does like Khorne deal with Skyjunks? If you like bring long Marauders the Dragon Lord, they just can't.
Yeah, I would say bring Bloodthirsters, but they lose to Long Marauders, and even in a replay that was recently shown on my channel, they don't even kill Skyjunks very quickly at all. There was one Exalted Bloodthirster just beating up on a Skyjunk for literally like 30 seconds. He took out a quarter of its health and then just left it alone. He couldn't kill it.
Yeah, basically.
Alright.
Khorne just like cannot deal with flying units and like with blobs. And in land battles it really shows. Maybe with DLC we'll get like some cool, units with guns or whatever. Like for Warhammer 40k, but right now, yeah, that's an issue for Khorne.
Well, be a flyer in chat. Myself have this question, but I'll loop it in with another one. Bobman and Neckbet ask, how does one make Nurgle good? And also, wait, Nurgle isn't the worst faction? Khorne is? What?
So Khorne is for sure, maybe not for sure, but probably the worst faction in land battles.
Yeah, what else?
In Domination it's gonna be Nurgle. Yeah, like... could you repeat, like, the question?
How do you make Nurgle any good?
Okay. So, the real answer, if you wanna get real, is that you can't, because Nurgle is just god awful and the units are too slow, too bad, no armor, no hitting power, no nothing. So you basically just like stand there, get shot and lose the games. In Domination at least. In land battles you can blow up against Slanesh and Khorne and win the games. against other factions that have French firepower, whether like Katai, Kislev and Ogres, you cannot, so you lose those matchups. But against like the full melee factions, you can just like blob up. This won't work in Domination because you have to like play for the points and like your opponent can just like split you up. So it's gonna be much harder.
Mm-hmm.
So currently like making Nurgle work is rather hard. Because they just like don't like the whole thing is just blobbing up, but if you cannot blob up, then you have like no strategy or no viable strategy. You have to like play some secondary strat with Forsaken, and at this point you're just like not using your faction to your advantage and are using like just like subpart strats because you are forced to, because if you don't you will lose also. So you try to like split your points as Nurgle and you cannot like blob and heal, and then you lose because your units are not efficient.
If Nurgle and Khorne are bad, what makes Tzeentch so good, Bobman?
Okay, so I think that Tzeentch is good because blue hordes are for sure really good. And also Tzeentch that simply has ranged units. I think it's fair to say that all the other demon factions either don't have ranged units or have them in very limited capacity. So you can like use strategies that kinda just don't work if your opponent has any like real ranged firepower at all. Like you cannot, for example, you cannot just do good awful like small blobs because Tzeentch will just punish it. And like Tzeentch in that way isn't really any different from like Warhammer 2 factions that also just have like at least some ranged units that can shoot the big bulk monster or the infantry and kill them if your opponent just blows up and doesn't move. So I think like Tzeentch is in kinda honestly a fine spot. I know that a lot of people complain about the added shields and barriers that, well, you can recharge them in combat. With blue hordes you can recharge their shields, but I find that in real games you like don't really have opportunities to be able to really like move your units out of combat and recharge the shields. Like you can do it with arguably like the Doom Knights, Chaos Knights, but even then it's often that the model gets stuck and like the whole unit is pulled back into combat and then you like don't recharge the shields at all. The only problem can be with the chickens, because they are fast, they are single entities, so they can like take one or two hits and then just like fly away and wait for the shields to recharge and then come back to the combat, but I think Tzeentch isn't like as good as many people think. Like I see this like a lot, that I think many people didn't play enough of the game, or maybe even at all, and they just like imagine some fantasy scenarios where you can just use your Tzeentch army somehow perfectly and just like only ever take damage to shields and then just recharge them, and your opponent will just like stand idle and waste ammunition on the shields or whatever. But I find that in real games like recharging the shields is very hard, and in most cases it's not gonna be like possible, or it's not gonna be the best way to play, so recharging the shields doesn't happen.
This is a personal question, and then we'll move on from Tzeentch, but like, are pink horrors terrible or what? They feel like they're terrible.
Yeah, I think that currently that is this thing where blues are really good and pinks are really bad.
They just don't. They don't do any damage.
Like pinks are decent enough. Like if you look like at the pink hordes and like compare them to blue hordes, and blues just have like twice the models, so they will do much more burst damage. Pinks have more ammunition, so like they will be able to like do more in prolonged engagement. But if that prolonged engagement doesn't happen and you are just able to, well, like if your opponent is just able to be like get in melee with pink hordes and all that, they won't get that much value, and that's why blues in most cases are just superior, and you only pick pinks when you are like cannot take more blues, so and you want more hordes, so you pick pinks, but you like do it begrudgingly that yeah, I'm taking you guys, but you know I'm only doing it because I ran out of blue space.
Fair. So, you keep saying Tzeentch isn't OP. Cry is Free agrees with you, asking, why is Tzeentch being compared to Ogres when Ogres are way more OP? And why aren't more people on the Kislev hate train? And he said you better have to read that emoji out loud. So I went with bleh.
Blah.
So why do people complain
man.
about Tzeentch when Ogres are better?
Who said it?
Cry is Free.
Okay. That guy is a wonderful human being and a god, okay? He's just like so correct. I have no idea like why are people like set on Tzeentch that they complain about Tzeentch all the time when on tournaments we don't like see them perform that well, and Kislev and Ogres just do so much better. Okay. I'm not gonna loop and go back to like how people think the Bayard works, but like Tzeentch does have a lot of strong things, I won't deny that. But Tzeentch isn't as strong as Kislev or Ogres for sure.
Are Ogres... I mean, this isn't a question anybody asked, but it's just a follow-up. Are Ogres strong just because of the Gorger blob, or are all their units just pretty good?
The way I would describe like the roster is that it's gonna sound silly, but I think it's kinda true that Ogre Kingdoms are a bad faction, but all of the units, or most of them, are underpriced. So like, if you would like look at units like Ogre Bulls, Gorgets, Iron Blaster, like, and you would try to find parallels in different factions, like all of the units would be probably much more expensive. But for some reason, they are like Ogre Bulls cost 500. That's really just too low.
I see.
And like in theory, when like Seer revealed the Ogres, like a lot of community was laughing that Ogre Kingdoms will be like such a shit faction because it's all gonna be like large unit and it will just like bring spearmen, and the cheap spearmen will like destroy Ogres because the monster infantry is bad. And that is true. But what people didn't expect, that Ogre units would be like so underpriced that you can just like send an Ogre Bull unit into pretty much every other unit in the game and they will trade up. Same with God Jets. I won't even speak of Iron Blasters because everybody knows that Iron Blasters are overpowered. So like, if Ogre units were like costed in a way that makes sense, they would probably be a bad faction. But somebody on CA was like, yeah, I'm gonna give minus 300 or 200 for the unit, and now they are just like really strong. The only bad units are many idiots, I think.
Not the Mournfang Cav? I find the Mournfang Cav are very disappointing.
I think they would be, but because they are kind of disappointing in a way that the Ogre Bulls are like just so cheap and so good that there is no point in bringing the calf.
Bobman and Kiara ask, what is the best counter to Kislev's sleds?
As what faction, or just like overall?
In general, like, how do you deal with sleds?
Okay, so like the classic answer to chariots is like cannon fire, because chariots have this way where like they have double or triple hitboxes.
Mm-hmm.
The one cannonball can hit a chariot multiple times and just like one-shot it.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if you're playing Kate, which to be frank, if you are playing Kate in Domination, probably something went wrong. But let's assume you are. Cannons will be really good against chariots because of that like double hit thingy, where like the cannonball has a piercing quality, so it will like go through the chariot and hit it multiple times, and due to that it will like it might be able to one-shot it or like two-shot it. So artillery is in general really good against chariots. If your faction has no artillery, you can try to like use units with mass, like chaos spawn, flesh hands, like cavalry, monsters. Just try not to use infantry and because they will like fall over and don't do any damage.
BF Flyers asking in the chat, how do you deal with spear spam as the ogres? I said probably Noblar Trapper spam, but is there anything else? I mean, iron blasters, scrap launchers.
Yeah. I think in Domination, generally because you have the mobility, the speed spam isn't that dangerous. The good answer, I think, is just let Belchets. They have 200 range. They are really efficient at killing infantry. So if your opponent just has a big dump, like Doomstack of Spearman, you can just use Let Belchets and well, you will just like shoot them apart because they have no mobility and no nothing, so they cannot respond to like your range superiority.
Yeah.
So yeah, go like no bloods, Let Belchets, Iron Blasted of course, and some Ogre Bulls.
Bobman asks, why do cannons have explosive shells? And I would say because boom. Because everybody likes boom.
No, I do have to say, they are kinda like, have this fire effect. And we do know that fire means explosions and boom, so I think that's the point somewhat that maybe the cannons really do have explosive shells and we are missing something.
The Phoenix King asks, why is Pendulum banned when Traderkin wasn't?
Like the simplest answer is that Pendulum is much better than Traderkin.
Yeah.
The more advanced answer would be that many factions in the game right now, Khorne, Kata, Kislev, Argiabi, like are focused on the infantry, and if you have a spell that can like just delete whole units of infantry with one press of a button, it can invalidate whole factions and makes them unplayable. So that could be like the more advanced like answer in a way.
Bobman asks, what does the Khorne Tzeentch matchup look like?
Okay, let's assume that Pendulum is banned.
Yeah.
I think generally Khorne, like their infantry can like trade up into most Tzeentch's stuff. Because Tzeentch like on that horrors doesn't have AP, Forsaken have no AP, Chaos Spawn do have armored sendering, but it's often not enough. So just like trying, it also depends on the game mode, let's assume Domination. You basically just like want to, in my opinion of course, spam Chaos Warriors, just go wide, don't blob up so like they can't throw spells on you. And in vacuum your units will trade up with theirs. So just like try to spread out so much that they cannot like blob up and like throw down that army ability that has a lot of damage, like this third level Tzeentch ability. Because like Forsaken of Tzeentch do lose to every other unit on Khorne roster in infantry. Chaos Spawn also like will lose to every other infantry of Khorne in vacuum. So if you like don't allow them to like combine the Forsaken and Chaos Spawn, or if you try to play more cautiously, I think that it should be very doable for Khorne.
Tranquillo Ward was asking in the chat about how much the funds would have to be raised for a starting army of Domination to have an onion style. And I was just saying, by a lot, but also Domination just does not reward that kind of play.
Yeah, I think I can just like agree with that. Domination, like I mentioned that Kata is good in land battles, but it's bad in Domination. And it's because you cannot just like sit in one place and force your opponents to come to them. You have to come to them, and you are Katai, so you are slow, and that's not your playstyle, so you will suffer due to that.
The Phoenix King asks, it seems like many factions have a skill cap like that of dwarves from Warhammer 2. Can you tell him something that does not make him treat the game like a bunch of dwarves? I mean, the game's not in the best state right now, so a lot of factions are pretty low micro.
Yeah, I guess we can have this like Slaanesh thing where in theory they are kinda micro intensive.
Yeah.
I guess one thing that could be mentioned is that currently we don't really have like 360 shooting units, or not a lot of them. Like just Kislev has them. And Sky Lanterns, but they aren't like true 360 units in a way. And also the rosters are really slim, so a lot of the rosters and factions have only like the most like basic types of units, and I'm sure in DLCs we'll get like the fancy like ancient salamanders and all of those types units released.
Real Human Being asks, should there be a way to get reinforcements for land battles?
Probably not. Like land battles would always this thing where it's like one army against the other, and you just like duke it out. If there were reinforcements, it probably wouldn't be a land battle anymore, at least in the spirit. So yeah, I think like land battles shouldn't be played with reinforcements.
4 questions left, and then a whole bunch of memes that we can rocket through super fast. FNG asks, what win are you most proud of in your Warhammer career? And then he follows up with, what is your worst loss? Do you remember?
Well, my dude, that is some ancient history. I think I remember when I was starting out, like 2019, I think. That was like at DK tournament. At DK wanted to like get into Warhammer 2 space, and they organized a tournament to in a way like grab new players, like gather some attention, and the player that would win the tournament would be guaranteed, if they wanted to, like the spot in the clan.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember that I like got to the finals and I was playing against Hiale Nale. He's a really good Spanish player. A lot of like the old guard will remember him.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, the whole chat was like because I was kinda new in that time, the whole chat was like really on Hiale's side, and I was the underdog and all that. But I did manage to win against him and win the final, and yeah, I felt pretty proud, and uh, that I did manage to win, get the final, and all that, and I guess I do remember that win.
That's pretty good.
When it comes to the most shameful loss, I try to cross out those of my memory.
Never happened.
Yeah, I don't lose. It's only like accidents.
I see.
I'm trying to like recall something. I think I could say that there was like Turin had a qualifier. I remember that. I managed to win a qualifier, and then it was like a second stage of the final stage where me and NTCT played, and like I lost the best of 3 in the like third game, and that felt pretty bad. So that kinda was a shameful display.
I mean, you lost to me on Ant Ladder one time. That's also pretty bad.
Yeah, that's still, you got kinda bad at this game, so that's shameful.
Yeah. You beat me a lot of times, but you lost me once, and therefore, shameful.
Yeah, you know, now that you're talking, like saying it, I think you're right. Losing to you is really shameful.
It's the ultimate disgrace for anybody.
Yeah, basically. I don't think I will get any sleep today, you know?
Yeah.
Now that you like reminded me of that.
Yeah. I remember we had a game where you took this like Stormvermin Skaven box versus my vampire counts, and as soon as you loaded it in, I was like, ah, shit. I don't have a Mortis
I
engine.
lost here.
Alright. F&G asks, what cool stuff did you do when you took a break from Warhammer 2? I mean, Elden Ring, but that's kind of right now.
Yeah, it was like some time ago. Basically, I was working a real life job, and also just like playing other games. I had a break, so you know.
Yeah. And then the last question before we get to
Also-
memes. Sorry, what?
Yeah, also in that time, I think I kind of got like fed up with the game, and I needed the break, so that was beneficial to me.
Everybody needs a break now and again. F&G asks, what mood were you in when you came up with your famous Kislev, well, I guess he called it a cheese build, but the blob build with like 2 Zargard, 2 Elemental Bears, Patriarchs, an Ice Witch.
Yeah, I know. All skill. What can I say? I'm just that good of a player. I microed it so well.
Built different.
Yeah, I'm just special. My gaming chair is really high quality. What can I say? Like this army, I will say I made it on spot. Like during the game, like against NTCT,
Mm-hmm.
I like didn't have anything planned, so I was just like, okay, I have no idea how this matchup works, but like, let's just like try some old Warhammer 2 strategies with like chariot blobs and all that, and maybe it will work. And it did, and it did really well. So I also just like picked the same army against Khorne in the finals, and it also like won easily. So, you know, I'm just a bit different.
All right.
Like, all my builds are working. I like whatever units I choose, I just win. I can't help it.
You're just too good. Love it. All right. We have a bunch of memes. None of these are serious, so don't feel too obligated. XMT Way asks, CD Projekt Red, BioWare, or Larian Studios? Which is, I guess, your favorite? I don't know.
So I think like out of those 3, the Larian Studios aren't like are the only ones that haven't like fallen from grace. So I'm gonna go with them.
What did they
Because I
make?
played all the games for Divinity Original Sins. And right now Baldur's
Oh,
Gate 3.
oh, that's who that is.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
If I were to say like my all-time favorite, like I'm Polish, so we would expect CD Projekt, Witcher. Oh my God, Witcher is such a good game. Oh my God, Geralt, please be my father. But no, I don't really like Witcher all that much.
Aw, I like The
Like
Witcher.
I mean, I think it's okay, but I think it's really overrated. The combat is so fucking bad in this game that I just cannot stand it. Uh, but Mass Effects were like such an experience for me, the Mass Effect games. So, like in a way, I would go with BioWare, but right now BioWare is like in a rough spot. So, like currently, I would pick Larian.
Yeah, BioWare has fucked up a lot of things, but I enjoyed Knights of the Old Republic. I enjoyed Mass Effect a lot. So it's hard. They have such a lot. They have so much goodwill that it's hard for them to throw it all away. I would agree. Well, I think I know your answer, but World Beater asks, if you watch The Witcher, the Netflix series, will you become addicted?
No, no. I generally like I'm not a type of like person that likes to watch shows. I think I haven't watched Games of Thrones. I haven't uh, like really watched any series at all. I think pretty much. Also, I'm seeing you in chat, and don't shit talk me, okay? I'm seeing it. Random is wrong. Don't say it. I say it all, okay? Come on. At least say it to my face. Don't be sneaky about it.
I like being sneaky. No, I like The Witcher a lot, but I was just giving you some shit. I thought it'd be funny. All right. Wow, this is a good time to ask this question. Real Human Being asks, is Human Boy cool?
No, he's cringe. Next
I-
question.
I agree. Adoring Fan asks, will Human Boy host another Warhammer 2 tournament? I don't know, Randomnix, will I?
Thank you for that question. Thank you for that question. I would have to think about it. I'm still not sure if my answer is either gonna be no or yes. But I will have to get back to you on that one, Chief.
All right. Adoring Fan asks, why are Norskin players so attractive?
I think who was asking that question?
Adoring Fan, who is a Norskin main.
Okay. So yeah, I think Adoring Fan is like on some high grade copium that you know he associates playing Notska, so like it's like a type of like self-inflicted violence with being good looking, and it's it's not healthy, I think. So should get that checked out.
Bobman asks, who is the best Warhammer content creator?
Not Human Boy.
Not Human Boy.
Okay.
Probably,
Although,
you go.
yep. You go. Come
It's
on,
current
your
year,
show.
dude. It's current year makes the best content. We love that guy.
Honestly, I think, although it's like a pretty, like, not original answer, I think like I would go with Turin. Because he's like, has a big channel, has a big following, but he's still like kinda a really good player, insightful about the game. So he's like both really, like, his content is both like really enjoyable, and he like also knows how to play the game and knows a lot about it.
I see. Bobman and
Not female boy for sure.
not me. Bobman and No Cane No Gain ask, have you played Among Us?
Amogus.
Mogus.
Imposter. Amogus.
I love the memes.
I don't know.
Randomnix, some random called Randomnix says, who was first, the chicken or the barrier?
I think the Amogus was first.
Okay. It was there since the dawn of time. Wei asks, did you ever play RuneScape?
Going back to that, yeah, he was Amogus all that time.
He's...
So, okay.
Wei
Next
asks,
question.
Wei asks, did you ever play RuneScape?
No, I'm not a virgin. Next question.
Fair. Dactor asks, who's your favorite test partner?
Not Dagded. Next question.
Got him. Bobman asks, why are chicken nuggets the best food possible?
Honestly, chicken nuggets are kinda cool, but I wouldn't like place them in my top of the food, but I do like them kinda.
Mm-hmm.
So can't hate that much on chicken nuggets, you know? Who doesn't like chicken nuggets? Come on.
Neckbet asks, what Warhammer 3 players could you beat in a real-life fight?
Honestly, most of them, I think. Come on.
Most
People
of them.
who sit in front of the computer all the time and play this game are either really like mentally unwell, they like to like touch themselves currently if they play Warhammer for this, so I think I would have a decent shot. Because I'm a Giga Chat Elden Ring player. I'm not a cringe Warhammer 3 player, okay?
Speaking of Elden Ring, Cryosfree asks, how do I make myself stop playing Elden Ring to play Domination, or should he just quit his job and keep playing Elden Ring?
Yeah, just quit your job, come on man. Keep your priorities straight.
Elden Ring is better. Last 2 or 3 questions here. How many lobsters is too many? Real human being.
2 is too many, 1 is perfect. Okay?
1 lobster.
Never go above 1, yeah?
Hammond asked a very, very long question that ended up with which mode of Warhammer 3 is the best mode, and you already said both for different reasons, so I'll skip that one.
I have a different answer, okay? I think it's free for all.
Free for all. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, we should all be playing that.
That's a pretty good one. Tournament free for all. Rates, piece of toast, humor bad. Is it okay to swallow gum? Adoring fan.
If you want to die, sure.
Hammond's
Because
mad
you
at
know
me.
that the gum will grow in your like stomach and it will like take root and the tree will grow, so you know, be ready. It's not safe.
Hammond's mad at me, so I'll ask some of his questions before we go. Why was Nagash weak, Hammond?
Nagash is weak sauce. I mean, Nagash is kinda cringe, I think. He's just some undead dude. Undead are kinda cringe, so Nagash is therefore cringe. And he isn't like even in the game, so yeah, he's just weak sauce.
Hammond and
Next one.
Hammond and Bobman ask, if there was a burnt piece of toast between 2 gutter slates, would you eat it?
What is a gutted slate? What?
I misspoke during a stream
I need
once.
to Google that.
Yeah, I misspoke during a stream once, and they'll never let me like live it down. But I meant like slits in a gutter, and I said slates, and they love to just always bring it up. Those bastards.
How could they?
Yeah, so they're just memeing on me. Woke up from a nap. Seems
No,
like
wait. What?
Sorry, what?
How could anybody joke in those questions? I thought that all the questions were like really like serious and, you know, just insightful. But here you are saying that, you know, there are some jokes inside. I don't believe it.
I know.
Was I being played? Was I being Wait, what you like making fun of me? I thought it was like all serious, and I was like giving it my all, and
Ugh.
now you're saying the jokesters among us.
Among Us was serious. It was very serious. Alright. The rest of these, there's only like 8 left, but most of them are kind of out there. Oh, here's one I did like, and then we'll end with this one. Is Torox the Brass Bull Starbrand's child? Adoring fan.
A very, very good question.
Mhm.
I will have to direct you to my good friend Lord Master of Sotek for that answer. I think he has a whole series on the parental relationship between Torek and Taurox and Scarbrand, so go check it out. I heard it's a hit on Netflix, so...
Dude, I love Lore Master of Sotek. I wish he did more lore videos. Recently he's been doing a lot of like streams and podcasts, but I miss his like deep dives into characters. That shit was hype.
Very hype.
Chat asked one more question out of nowhere, and I like it. Would he rather have 2 lobsters or playing 20 games of Cathay in a row? Cathay is the best faction, so just that one, of course. Cathay's the only faction to play.
Basically, yeah. I mean, Cathay. How could you not want to play with them? They are so fun to play. They
Dude.
are so overpowered that the units are all good, so it's just a pleasure. Come on.
I love Cathay. They're the only faction in this game that's my
I would say-
playstyle.
If there was an option to play Among Us in that, I would pick it for sure.
Alright, we'll do an Among Us stream soon.
Among those options, you know.
Yes. Sir, I want to thank you for doing this interview with me. It was a good time. It's, you know, the game's in a rough state right now, but as you were saying, hopefully it will get better, and they won't do the 3 Kingdoms thing where they just abandon it. Because that would be sad.
No way. C would never do it. Come on. How could they? They would never abandon the game.
They just need our money.
Yeah.
We need to
Just
buy...
buy the Blood DLC and Chat DLC, and all will be fine.
Oh, fine. Hammond has one more question, apparently. Do you think it's worth visiting Game 1 builds again when the full game is released and using them for domination? I didn't play Game 1, Hammond, so I have no thoughts, but we'll see if Random did. I played campaign in Game 1.
I mean,
Filthy casual.
didn't we like just have like Game 1 factions in Warhammer 2? So why not just like use the Warhammer 2 builds?
I don't know. I don't even know what the Game
What I'm
1
saying,
builds were.
Hammond, is, you know... Yeah. Hammond, what I'm saying is that that question was really bad, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Got him. Posted. Do you think cannons? Yes. Okay. I will let you go, Randomnix. You have given me so much of your time, and I thank you. I love your profile picture as always. And I look forward to running into you on Ant Ladder when I feel like queuing up again, which will probably be in 3 months.
I see. Okay, so yeah. Thank you all for the attention, for the enjoyment, for the Among Us.
For the Among Us.
And I will see you all for the Mogus. And I will see you all some other day. See you.
Boy. Alrighty, for the rest of you, Ally waiting for 1.1 patch with great interest. Me too. I'm curious how much it'll change. I don't think it'll change too much, but any stability will help. Tranquillo, do you think black powder shots should be traveling fastest? Like Shogun or Empire? Also cannon shots. Faster. Oh, faster? Yeah, probably. They should be much, much harder to dodge than they currently are. But they're still harder to dodge than arrows. Thank you all for sticking around. Had a good time with the interview with Randomnix. Lots of memes, lots of silliness. Hey, for Poland, you just missed Randomnix. I mean, we were doing an interview to talk about Domination mode, and Randomnix and I set this up before we knew what state the game was going to be in over time, and yeah, I think both of us are just waiting for the game mode to get a little better, for the game in general to get a little more stable. Time to go watch the interview and Domination matches from the start then. Thanks, Ally. And yes, for Poland, you are too late. I am sorry. Alright, I'm gonna go walk the dog. So I hope the rest of you have a great day.